Hello and welcome back to the Fastest Podcast. I'm here today with Pigeon and Dan, and we're going to be talking about all things F1 as we do. How are you guys doing?
Baked, properly baked. Spent a little bit too much time in the sun yesterday, so I'm red all over. But I'm excited to be here. So yeah.
Yeah, enjoying the summer break?
Slowly dying, but yeah.
How about you, Dan?
Yeah, all good. Looking forward to getting into something F1. It's been a long time waiting. So
Dark times at the moment. I don't know what to do with
It's only
myself.
been a week.
It's a week too long. I don't know, the breaks between races feel longer. Like the summer break seems to drag. It's not like a normal gap in the calendar. I don't know. I'm bored.
It's so official, you know. It's like now we have 3 weeks of no F1. So, yeah.
I think we're all suffering together. But no, so I thought today we would have a conversation about the 2026 calendar. I mean, there are some pretty considerable changes coming next season. I mean, we're nearly done now, halfway through 2025. So 2026. I mean, we're losing Imola, which I kind of hate. What are your thoughts?
Well, we had a pretty good race there this year. You have to say, especially with the tire offsets, it was great to see. You can race there; it's just a matter of the track conditions, then the DRS, which isn't that useful this year. Yeah, it's an iconic track. You hate to see it go. We'll have to see if Madrid will be more exciting.
yeah, I also think that they're getting rid of a track that punishes drivers. If you make a mistake, you end up in the gravel traps, stuff like that. You look at some of these tracks now, the runoff is too wide. If you go off the circuit, you can just come straight back on. But in Imola, I feel the drivers are punished, so that's going to be a real shame going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great track, and I think considering next year that the cars are getting smaller again, make it more raceable for them. I just think it's such a shame. Um, I mean, we're going to have two Spanish races on the calendar. Obviously, we're going to have Barcelona stay sort of where it is in the calendar, but then Madrid will kind of close out the European stint. So I suppose at least it's good that they've spaced out those races, but I don't know. I think it's such a shame. Like it's a proper like old Italian track. I don't like all of the sort of incoming street circuits. But I mean, could be worse, I guess. But still, not great. What are you guys thinking about the new track in Madrid?
Yeah, I'm not overly excited about it, to be honest. It looks like it's just another generic street circuit. We've got too many street circuits on the calendar. You know, go back 20 years, it was just Monaco, and I think Singapore might have just been coming through as well. You had two. You kind of looked forward to them because, the close walls and everything, you never knew what was going to happen at these tracks, but now there's too many of them, and it's difficult to get excited for another street circuit coming in.
For sure.
Yeah. Street circuits, they have a certain vibe to them. If you look at Monaco, walls are closed. You have to push yourself to the very, very limit of what you can do without pushing too far because you end up in a wall. But looking at the Mad Ring, you just can't get excited. It's another short straight where we will probably not see any overtaking into a 90-degree corner where crashes are bound to happen. And then the part that they fabricated themselves, it's just terrible. You look at the trailer of the layout, how it's going to be, and even the people who produce the lap time, they cannot make a clean lap on it, as you saw them struggle with a 3-corner combo in the span of 10 meters. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. We'll have to see what it brings, but that it goes for every track next year. We'll enter a completely new era of F1, and the cars will not behave the way they did in the previous years. I think Monaco will be a really good indicator of that. It's the first street circuit we'll go to in the next calendar, if my maths are mathing.
We're not in Jeddah
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, but Jeddah has a completely different track altogether. It's fast.
Street
You don't have any
vibes,
90-degree
though.
corners. Yeah, you're kind of correct. Yeah, but we'll have to see what they can bring. But I'm not getting my hopes up for battering at all.
No, I mean, looking at the track map, like you say, we don't know how the cars are going to behave yet next year, but not really giving. I don't know. It's just, like you say, we've got these kind of 2 long straights, but they're not into these kind of awkward corners. I'm not convinced, to be honest. But it might surprise us. Again, like the cars are going to be smaller, so there might be hope.
Yeah, I'm literally just looking at the layout, and I'm just saddened by the fact that they have to put a chicane at every single track these days. In turn 1, you see it at Jeddah, and it completely ruins the track layout, in my opinion. Yeah, and in Maverick again, they put some kind of chicane at in turn, and I think it'll ruin the flow. Yeah.
The other thing with the Madrid ring coming in is where does that leave Barcelona? Because that is I really enjoy the Barcelona track. I think it's a really good track. But if they're not having 2 races in Italy, then I highly doubt they're going to have 2 races in Spain. So are they going to take another old school classic track off the calendar for a street circuit? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great point. Like, having 2 Italian races, just makes so much more sense to the sport than having 2 Spanish ones. But I hope it all kind of stay. I suppose it's kind of become an iconic track, for testing and quite ingrained. So maybe that will save it. But I mean, when you've got rumours like tracks like Spa going from the calendar, not at the moment, but before. I mean, it's hard to like have hope about Barcelona. But it would be such a shame. I think I really don't mind a street circuit. I quite enjoy some of them, but at a certain point, you've just got a quali lap, and that's it.
Yeah, and as Dan said, of course, 2 races in Spain. Depends on the races together, but I think Spain is a pretty special one, since it's tough on the tires. So as you saw with this year's version, you can do either a 2-stop or a 3-stop, or even more stops if you want. You can push as hard as you want, and you'll see some time. You don't see that in Imola, of course, but I think Italy has this vibe around it. I think it's at the heart of motorsport, especially with the Tifosi, of course. If Italy doesn't get 2 races, we shouldn't see 2 in Spain, and we definitely shouldn't see 3 in America. Then,
I mean, that kind of brings me on to my next question. Next year, we are going to be having the 3 races again in the States. Which one would you get rid of? And why is it Miami?
I was just about to say it all together. Miami. Yeah, it's not a track for me. Awkward corners, a very long straight with next year no DRS. Yeah, I don't want to say anything else about it. because I'll just get furious.
Well, you look at the Vegas track though, but I think that was solely built for DRS. All it's just straight after straight after straight. The really long straights. It'll be interesting to see how the cars work there. Obviously with no DRS, but I think if they actually just got rid of Miami, the first sector, and just actually made it more Baku style, then they could actually have a half decent race there. I quite like the middle section of it. So Miami, if they just redone the whole first sector, they could. It's never going to go. It's here till 41, was it? 2041. It's not going anywhere. They just need to redo the whole track, really.
I just hate it. Really hate it. It really upsets me every time we've had a race there. I mean, yeah, Vegas might not do as well next year, but at least it's kind of had that redemption in that we have seen entertaining races there. I think Miami, the only kind of good or entertaining thing that's come out of it is, had the first Norris win. But beyond that, it's awful.
Yeah, I think the highlight of the season has been in Miami, but it had nothing to do with F1 whatsoever. I think it was the Lego race that we saw, the drivers' parade. That's the only thing that's come from Miami, in my opinion, that gives it any redeeming quality. But you can do that at any track, to be fair. It's, as you say, every made American track has been focused on DRS, on this era. They've all been extended to far beyond any driver on the current grid, I think. I hate to see these tracks be extended and then Spa having to fight for any spot on the calendar. And of course, I know Spa. It's, as we've seen, it's dangerous, especially when it rains. But I'd love to see money being put into Spa rather than making another spectacle in Miami, which doesn't offer any great racing whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a disappointing thing to look at. I think the whole, from Thursday to Sunday, it's just like you say, it's a spectacle, but it's not a spectacle for racing fans, which I just think it's so disappointing. I think you've hit the nail on the head about tracks like Spa. The fact that we don't have a race in Germany because of funding, but we've got some fake water in Miami. It doesn't bode well, I think. And I just, a lot of people say that they're doing tracks like this to, bring in the new fans and new audience. But isn't that audience going to get bored when they're literally just watching a procession?
Yeah, I mean, Miami's just driving around a car park, isn't it? That's all they do. I could go to Tesco's and do that.
I just think,
the real question is, what do you prefer? Like the first Las Vegas Grand Prix, which was literally at a car park, or Miami?
Vegas any day to be like, and I still think it's pretty bad, but Miami is so much worse.
Just scrap them both.
Yeah. I think it's all to do with the Drive to Survive effect. Oh, there goes our host. I think it's all to do with the Drive to Survive effect. We've got a boatload of fans coming in after the 2021 season. All of them expect every single season to be a fight between either 2 or 3 drivers, all the way to the final lap. But we haven't seen that in recent years. I think 2024 was pretty exciting. With from week to week, every other team had a chance of victory. But now you see that the tracks are kind of being chosen on the spectacle that they can perform. But rather than on-track action, we're seeing more off-track action, which is not something that the pure-blooded F1 fans want to see, I think. Yeah.
It's a shame as well because Austin is a great track. It's a great weekend. It's a great race. And they've got so many incredible circuits that already exist in the States. You know, they've got all these incredible IndyCar circuits. They've got a really passionate, pre-existing fan base of racing fans who do not want to see whatever they've done in Miami. They do not want the spectacle of Vegas. They don't want to see that. They want to see racing the same way the existing F1 fans want to see racing. So I really don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it from a fan perspective. It makes no sense to me. It really makes no sense to me. But it could be interesting next year to see how Vegas performs. You know, I mean, I don't know. Have you guys ever done like a sim lap or an F1 game lap in Miami?
Yeah, it's not pretty.
It's rage bait. It's awful.
Yeah, it's the turn 1-2 combination for me. You just can't get on the gas, and then it's turn 15, 16, 17 under the bridge with the left-right combination. You're basically flying, and it's not what F1 cars are supposed to do. I didn't know if they had that in mind building the track, but might have been an oversight. And as you say, we have plenty of tracks in the US. It's just a shame that 90% of them go only left. So, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason F1 didn't work in Vegas in the first place in the 80s.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just didn't work, did it? It didn't work. They had, 2 years there? And then they gave up on the project. I think it was 2 years. And then they've gone back to it again. They're never going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it fits really well with the performance that Formula One is trying to put on. It's just a shame that it kind of isolates other tracks. But I suppose on the topic of, we have those 3 American races, next year appears to be a lot more grouped in terms of like continent, country. So the European stint pretty much stays pretty solid. You've got their Asian races. What do you think of that?
Finally!
Well, there we go.
It's basically the Canada switch, which is only logical. It doesn't make sense why they waited so many years to finally implement it. But love to see that they're actually listening to fans and companies around the world when it comes to being eco-friendly, especially with the incoming 2030 net zero goal that they have. And it also makes sense for the fans, of course, with timings and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I'm just looking at the calendar now, I think it's about as eco-conscious as F1 can be. So I'll take it, I'm not mad about it. We've got that European fan luck where everything kind of works in our time zone. So I'll take it. But no, I'm glad to see that they're kind of listening to the fans as well. I think, I just hate that we're losing Imola. I can't get over Imola. I think that's pretty sad, but it is what it is, I guess. No.
Yeah, I think the vibes this year were just pure bliss, to be fair. The Ferrari fans were amazing, even though that Ferrari maybe didn't get the result that they wanted. But you could hear the passion through the screen, through the microphones. It was amazing to see, and it's really sad that we're losing such an iconic track and an experience.
You won't get that in. You won't get that in Madrid.
Well, we'll have to see.
Fernando Alonso fans don't mess around. To be fair.
Yeah, they're more Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't know. We haven't seen it yet. Yeah. I think Carlos Sainz as well. It could be.
Is he the official like
ambassador?
Ambassador, of the Mad Ring.
He was there cutting.
I don't know how much money they slid in, but yeah.
It had to be done. I mean, I I think with, everyone enjoys seeing the tifosi. Like, everyone enjoys perceiving them feel their emotions, whatever they might be, happy or sad. They're entertaining, and it's just passion. And I don't know, why are we taking things away from them? They already have so many pain, so much pain, so many problems. Why are we taking a racetrack from them? I don't know. But if they take Monza, that's where I draw the line.
Talking about passion, we're losing Zandvoort after 26. The whole Orange Army and Max Verstappen fans. And I think that's another shame to lose again. It's it's an old school circuit, and again it's another group of fans. I mean, yeah, they've got Belgium next door, but it's like another group of fans who are just losing their race.
Yeah, I think as a Dutch person, I have a unique insight to this. I'll actually be going there in a couple of weeks myself. But Zandvoort going isn't an F1 issue, it's a Zandvoort issue. Zandvoort's located in the middle of a nature reserve, and they just cannot support having F1 going there every year and messing up the air, the silence, the quiet, and the fans as well. There's hundreds of thousands of people moving there in a weekend. It's just too disruptive for the area, and that's why they say no more F1. So yeah.
Wouldn't you support moving an F1 race to Assen, maybe?
I'd like to see a Dutch Grand Prix, but I don't think Assen is good enough for the F1. It's not meant for it, at least.
Mm.
It's a typical MotoGP track, and I don't think we can get F1 to go there.
Not to be controversial, I'm not a fan, I'm afraid. I think it's a really cool qualifying lap, but I'm getting a bit bored of tracks that are good qualifying laps. So I don't know. It doesn't really do much for me in terms of characteristics of a track that's good to race on. Again, cars are getting smaller, even if it's just a little bit. So it could have been better next year, but I mean, if it's about disruption, they have kind of teased the idea of rotating tracks so that we don't completely lose out. Maybe that could be a solution if that ever comes about. But if it's like a yearly thing that they don't wanna do it every year. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there are better racetracks, but I think it's a very the track characteristics are very cool. But
no, they could rotate because Spa's missing out 2 years and then coming up, so they could rotate Imola back in, or Barcelona in with it. That could be how they don't lose them from the F1 fully.
yeah, I mean, hopefully we are going to hang on to Barcelona for as long as we can. I think they're just going to keep upsetting the sort of hardcore fans if they keep taking historic circuits away. I don't mind the newer ones, but I don't know. We'll have to see how Madrid does next year, but I don't know.
What is a newer track in your opinion? Because the most recent one we've seen are Miami and Vegas.
I quite like the Jeddah circuit.
Okay, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I mean, I again, that might be a controversial take, but I quite enjoy it. I think it might not be the best thing in the world, but I think it produced something better than we expected, maybe going in. I think it pushes the drivers, and it's produced some good races. A lot of people were very sort of angry about it going in because the track characteristics and it's too dangerous, but it's a racetrack. They're all pretty dangerous, I'd say, in some capacity. So I don't know, but that's one that I do like.
Yeah, I think the main problem with Saudi was the fact that it's beginner friendly, It's very difficult to do as a beginner. And then, of course, you also have the issue of it is in Saudi Arabia, where human rights are not always as up to date as some people would like. And of course, the massive 2021 incident when we had a missile just a couple hundred kilometers from the track blowing up in a Remco factory, I think it was. Um, yeah, that one definitely stuck in the back of my mind.
That was
But I do like the track. It's grown on me. It's grown on me over the years. So
added layer of excitement. I mean, I was quite nervous.
Oh.
Immediately cancelled. Okay.
YouTube says no.
YouTube says no. Oh, we'll edit that out.
Anyway, aren't they moving from the Jeddah street track soon? Anyway, to a more conventional circuit, I think.
Yeah,
2028.
I mean, conventional. I'm not sure.
It's been rumored, but I don't think it's. I mean, I have no info. Hey, she's back.
Hey.
Sorry. Did I go? Did I disappear?
Yeah. You said it adds a level of excitement, and then you were immediately just gone.
Divine intervention. Sorry, I didn't know I was still going. I didn't know I was gone. Apologies. No, I was just gonna say about Jeddah. Yeah, I think they are doing, and they're building another circuit. But I mean, Saudi's becoming a huge sports hub anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me. They'll probably have about 4 races on the calendar by the time they're done. So we never know. I think 2021 was a bit scary given the fact it was an Aramco factory and the track is a walking Aramco banner. So that was touch and go. But they choose to race in these places. The big dogs at FOM, they know what they're getting themselves into. So I think the track itself is cool. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah. I think the most difficult issue is you can compare it to Monaco. Everything's a wall. The only difference is in Monaco you do not go past 270 kilometers per hour, and if you do, it's only on a main straight. Saudi is like 70%, 270 plus, which if you do hit a wall at that speed, it's very dangerous, as we've seen with Schumacher in 2021. He crashed the car and he couldn't race the next day. I think that's the most important issue. That it is like Monaco. You have walls everywhere, only it's much higher speeds, which makes it more dangerous, of course.
I mean, we remember that incredible Verstappen lap, 2021, the quali lap that never was. It gives and it takes, I guess. I've just had a look, and it's the Qadiyah track, scheduled for completion in 2027. So we might be seeing a jump over from the Jeddah Corniche circuit.
I mean, it'd be a shame at this point. We've seen a great race this year. I think you can definitely race there if you actually have tires that degrade, because we didn't see any degradation this year. But I don't think that it's just rumors at this point. Qadiyah, we'll just have to see what it becomes. But I'd hate to see it see Jeddah go for Qadiyah.
Yeah, I think it would be a shame moving on because, it does bring something different to the calendar, and it's just a fear it could become another Qatar, which the track's not built for F1 cars. Like you said with Assen, I think that's more MotoGP, Qatar, and I don't think it suits F1 cars. So there's a possibility it could end up like that, and we could be losing quite a good Saudi Grand Prix.
I mean, this new track looks wild. Like, it looks like Mario Kart, in my opinion. But lots of very tight corners, big straights. They really hate us as fans, I think. I think they actually don't enjoy having us watch F1. But that's neither here nor there. So, I suppose do you have anything to add on the Saudi?
The Qadiyah, I think they nowadays they cannot make any track that's completely original. I think they just took Coda Turn 1, and then they took a section of this track, a section of that track. They somehow made it work to make a complete lap out of it. And then I think I saw the length of it was more than 7 kilometers, which is not allowed as far as I know. It was something of a 2-minute lap last time I saw, which is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to need to tweak that.
I could be wrong, of course.
No, I don't know anything about the sort of stats around it. I've just seen the track map, and it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I think there's a bridge involved.
That's ominous.
No, it looks like Mario Kart. It looks like it looks like the Rainbow Road, but we'll see.
Is that a ramp?
I mean, coming on to like track characteristics, if you had to like take parts of like existing tracks that are on the calendar, what like corners and elements of the tracks would you take? If you had to make a new one, what would you take?
Maggots and Beckett's.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
I quite like Austria Turn 9 and 10 as well. Probably throw in Brazil's last sector.
Yeah. Chuck in some Parabolica maybe. Quite like a nice round bit. It's not called that anymore, is it? Did they change the name?
I hope not.
I might have just said something really stupid. I don't know. I just remember because I went to the track, not for the race, but I was in Italy and I visited the track, and it was like a period of mourning. I don't know.
Did you go during filming of F1 the movie, or?
No, thank God, no.
Yeah, I mean, for best like corners, I like the banked corners these days. You can't overtake in them, but you can pretty easily run up and set up a move. And of course, Zandvoort has the biggest banked corners, but we have seen banked corners being introduced in more circuits. I think Saudi also has a little bit of banking.
Yeah,
China.
Yeah. I do like these corners because you can take them with a little bit higher speed, and they can turn sharper than you would usually be able to, which is lovely to see. But my real point is, it doesn't matter what kind of combination you put in the car in tracks these days. You can't overtake on them because the cars are absolute, trash. That we've seen 14 races so far, and I cannot name one single one that was perfect in a dry condition, because you can't overtake at any one of them.
I've got nothing.
Mic drop.
I mean, I'm hoping like we're gonna, Monza's coming. In Monza, I trust. So I'm hoping. If it rains in Monza, that would be something. So I'm kind of hoping for that one. But you're right. It's been I think an exciting season because of all the sort of team political rivalry stuff going on. And we have seen good races, but that's because we've had a lot of wet races. So
Yeah.
well, let's see. But on that note, I want to know, what are 3 tracks that you want off the calendar? Gone. Forever.
Should we say it in unison? Miami. Madrid. The third one is a difficult one. Let me check.
I'll go Qatar.
Yeah, definitely.
I quite like Qatar, but I know what you mean. I like Qatar in 2021. It's a different world out there.
Controversial. I would get rid of Suzuka and bring back Fuji Speedway.
My love for Suzuka is too big for that. Sorry.
I get it, but I have to agree. I can't. Special place in my heart.
Quickly brings up Fuji Speedway. I mean, yeah, but again, DRS. Again, DRS. It's disappearing. It has a long straight that you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
that
get your
2007 race. That was class.
I do get your point. It's an amazing track. Even if you just look at it, it's amazing. Yeah, I think it won't be. Well,
no, you go.
No, you go ahead. Your selection first, so then we can move on.
I'm getting rid of Mexico.
Interesting.
I can't remember a time in the last 4 or 5 years where anything remotely interesting has happened to that track. The track is cool, the characteristics, but no, not for me. I don't think you can overtake. Nah.
I mean, Checo went flying a couple of years ago. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I reckon 2019 was probably the last good race there that I can remember.
And that's pretty. That's not great form, but I get why they had the Mexico Grand Prix. Obviously, with Checo as Mexican driver, and maybe if he's coming back, could be good. But I don't really get the hype. And also, I've gone for the 3 M's: Miami, Mexico, and Monaco. I'm sorry.
It needs to go.
I'd say if you're going to make any decision about any street circuit, make it after 2026 or 2027.
True. Yeah.
If the cars still don't work at tracks like that, of course, but you still can't throw away Monaco, in my opinion. It's one of those tracks in the season that you just have to, if you don't like it, just bite through. Yeah, it's iconic, it's legendary.
You can race there.
You
can race there. Schumacher in 2006. You can race there.
Again, the cars are the issue, not the track.
Yeah.
Monaco is my all-time favourite qualifying session on the whole calendar. But I don't want my enjoyment to end after qualifying. Do you know what I mean? It's just... It's a shame.
Okay, Leclerc's on pole. I'll see you next year.
Yeah. If Leclerc's on pole, you've kind of got to watch the race because God knows what could happen. But, no, I agree with you though. Let's get these next couple of years out the way and reevaluate. But as of right now, even this season, they tried the whole tyre mix-up thing, and it was just a bunch of angry racing drivers apologising to the fans. It didn't really help. I think if you've got to keep trying different things to make something work, it's not working.
They could have fixed the problem by just installing a minimum lap time that you have to follow, or maximum lap time that you have to adhere to. Because Monaco was just, I'll just get on the brakes 3 kilometers before I need to, and people can't pass anyways. And that was happening at 3 different points in the field.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun to watch. I don't think it was fun to drive either, except for the top 4, who were literally fighting.
I don't know. Any other tracks you'd like to get rid of? Door is open.
Well, now that we're going. No, like I said, if you're gonna get rid of any tracks, even there's someone that I clearly do not like, let's wait until 2026 has passed and then ask me again.
I would add that I would love to see Brazil as the final race.
Yes.
That's a good one.
It feels like balance has been restored. You know, we have Australia. It was the first race this year. We could be getting somewhere. They could be listening to us. Copium.
I think we'd sooner see Las Vegas as the final race of the season, to be fair. Because I feel like that's what they tried to do with Abu Dhabi at the time. Like, we're going to a rich country and we'll build amazing facilities and then we'll try and build a great track, which they didn't quite manage to do. And then they have a gigantic podium with fireworks everywhere and just doesn't work. But I think if they really want to try again, they should go to Las Vegas. If I want to speak as a fan, I'd love to see them go at Brazil for the final race.
They should revert to it. There's nothing like it, you know. It used to be such a tense, high-octane way to end the season.
And the weather.
And exactly, all of these different elements, coming together, and it produced incredible racing. It was just the kind of spectacle the F1 fans actually want to see.
Yeah.
So if we're not getting rid of any more tracks, what are your top 3 ranked?
Current tracks we want to see on the anyways, or
either. What are your favourite racing tracks? Can be current. Doesn't have to be.
Not British bias, but Silverstone.
I mean, Silverstone's definitely on there. You saw it this year. Every corner is a spectacle.
I would say Malaysia. I really like Malaysia. Probably Austria. Normally Austria is a really good race.
I've also got Austria.
Kind of put Monza in there as well.
I mean, yeah, you've just done my top 3, 100%. Silverstone, Monza, Austria. I think they are classic. Maybe I'm boring, but you can't go wrong. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say Brazil, Monza, and Silverstone. I don't think there's been many years where we've seen boring races at those tracks. Yeah, definitely those 3.
Notable mention for Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong with Brazil. No. Any other thoughts on the 26 calendar?
Yeah, they need to start listening to the fans. There's so many tracks out there that we are not going to. Yeah. That fans would love to see, that drivers would love to drive at. I think F1 recently released their earnings from this the year to date. They have plenty of money to make it work, We're going to start with rotational calendars, which opens up a whole nother possibility for seeing more locations per year. Or, you know what I mean? Just listen to drivers, listen to fans, have a poll. I don't care. Which track do you want to see return to the calendar this year, and make it work, make it happen. You'll make everyone happy.
They can rotate Miami out
permanently.
Yes. Lego only races there.
and bring back the German Grand Prix.
Please. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I mean, rumours of races in Africa as well, which would be very cool. That's a whole other thing, Maybe in the next couple of years we'll see something like that. South Africa, maybe. I think that's been the main sort of talking point for a race in Africa. But I think other than that, we've kind of summed it all up. I think we'll leave it there. So thank you for joining us for this episode of the Fastest Podcast. And we will see you again later in the week, and keep an eye for the rest of our content. Subscribe.
Also, post your top 3 and least top 3 in the comments, please.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of opinions.
And post your thoughts on Miami.
Yeah. Let's get controversial.
Just Miami. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming on. we'll be back again later in the week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.